what do I have against me? I have the entire government against me. I'm a disenfranchised South African. I do not have access as a citizen.
The greater part of South Africa has very little idea or understanding about the Apartheid Museum because South African media covered one aspect of the Apartheid Museum. If we use the word the Apartheid Museum now, you have the impression that you're talking about a structure at Gold Reef City Casino.
Yes.
You may also have the impression that it originated in the minds of two men called Abraham and Solomon Crock. Now that's not true. I registered the trademark, the Apartheid Museum, and I put out an extensive document and I circulated it to every single government department, every single media house, every single multinational corporation in the Republic of South Africa. And so in this period between 1999 and 2001 total, I'm carrying about my business, trying to develop the Apartheid Museum. And one morning I opened the Sunday Times and there's Charlotte Bauer singing loud about Abraham and Solomon Crock as visionaries of the Apartheid Museum. And that begins a story that's been in litigation for years.
Came across the case, at least my experience was around October 2014. That's like, what, three years ago? At the time, I think the case had been going on for about 13 years. And the big question we all asked ourselves, because we're activists, we've been at this for some time now. The big question we asked is, how come we didn't know about this?
I think as someone who has been working with Mike and obviously his family around this case, I have seen what white supremacy and whiteness does to the black family. I think we might take it for granted when we say that, whiteness, racism hit hardest on the black family. And I think my experience or the insight that I got, from the Justice for Mike case and working with the Steinbanks, proved that, white supremacy is relentless against the black family.
The Bloemfontein Local Transitional Council, on the presentation of my 48-page prospectus, approved the building. They took a resolution in a full council sitting. I went with my team and we did a presentation to the council on the proposal. Everybody sat with the prospectus in their hands and we took them through the prospectus. And in the prospectus it mentions that the cost is in the order of 1 billion. And they asked us to excuse ourselves and the council took a resolution, and the next day it was published in the Volksblad in Bloemfontein. That council has taken a resolution to build the Apartheid Museum. So what did I go into court? I wanted to go into court to be able to say to the Bloemfontein who passed that in 2000 that Gold Reef City Casino is lying. Here is the trademark that I told you that I got. You cannot register a company using somebody else's trademark while that trademark is of full force and effect on the register. The second thing is that you cannot register that company without the permission of the trademark holder.
Here you have Mike Steinbeck, an intelligent black man who has been very fortunate, I think, to navigate through the racism and to be able to think of an idea, because racism says black people should not think. In fact, it's illegal to think while you are black. So Mike goes and, conceives of this idea and says, look, I don't want to just teach, black people about what they went through in apartheid, because surely they know that. But more than that, I want to teach them, to understand how racism works, how racism sustains itself. And therefore, this idea of the Apartheid Museum, I see it as a school that will teach these people who've been through racism. So that comes from a black body, and that black body is Bramaik. But because white supremacy and whiteness, through working with the ANC, does not want that, they go and they attack Bramaik. They don't just attack, or the attack is not just at the cognitive level in terms of his ideas, but it's also at his personhood. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a family man. So you can imagine, what's it like to be a father that would provide, the best for their children. And today, you are a father that cannot do anything for yourself even. So for me, or for us as the Blackhouse Collective, the case really, and looking at the family, the Bramaik's family becomes a microcosm of, larger black families that are dealing with racism.
Your judiciary is corrupted by racists. Your judiciary is corrupted, and people hate the thought that you have a corrupted judiciary. I've got 16 years to show you a corrupted judiciary in every single aspect that you want. The institution is corrupted right through the courts, the clerks. It's so systemic and it's so embedded. It is unbelievable. So the outcome 16 years later now, we have the benefit of the 16 years of fraud in the judiciary with Gold Reef City Casino. In other words, the judiciary under the control of Gold Reef City Casino. And you can say, well, in fact, it's the 3 tiers of government under the control of Gold Reef City Casino. Because the first tier of government is the executive, represented in this case by Rob Davies. Then it's the legislature, which is then taken place at the office of the registrar's company, and then the judiciary. So what do I have against me? I have the entire government against me. I'm a disenfranchised South African. I do not have access as a citizen.
This is painful on many levels. I felt pain as a black person. This has been the thing that has been dragged for 16 years. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, which brought me a lot of rage as well. I also realized that I had been blinded for so many years by a lot of things. The names in the documents were people that I thought I looked up to. The people that I thought were pillars. There were people that I thought, when I want to learn about myself, and particularly my blackness, I look up to these people. And I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed, and I feel like I need to start over with myself.